This is gonna end up being a drawing stream, but for the time being, I am actually oh, sorry, totally lost my train of thought. I'll just leave the door open. Wife and daughter, excuse me. Wife and daughter are gone for a while, and so I am here. Let me just double check what am I on here. Am I supposed to be on this channel? I feel like I'm missing out on something here. Where's my restream window? Where's my... what the heck? Oh, there it is. Online, sending data. Alright. So we are live on YouTube. We are live on DLive. Alright, let me jump over here. Nothing up my sleeves. And we are going to be talking about the Gotham final episode trailer. I am so behind on Gotham. I'm so behind. But this trailer kind of makes me want to go back and watch all the stuff that I've missed so far. And I don't know. I don't want to talk about it until Nasser and Critias are going to pop in here, and maybe some other people. I'm not sure. And then we can watch it together and discuss. Excuse me. That chat, by the way, is from an earlier stream, so do ignore. Comic Artist Pro Secrets is not in the chat currently, so here we are. I hope everyone is having a good day. Please do hit that like button as you come in. Hit that share button. Let people know we are in here. Every time I come back, Mike is smaller and has more windows surrounding him. Wait until I have my Google Hangouts and the show. Should be interesting. Twitter. Yeah, and Critter said something cryptic. He said, "What is up with Critter?" I don't even know. Going live. Come on now. Tweet. Tweedly-diddly-did. Man, what is up with my throat? No Man's Land was always my favorite Batman comic story, so I watched this last season because of that. Yeah, I just, it's a good show. I just have so much stuff I need to deal with. Alright, let me check here. Refresh the restream chat. Wait, why do I have to refresh it? Why isn't it just populating on my... It should be populating on my OBS. Okay, now it is. Weird. Turn that line off. And now chat is waiting for new messages. Alright. Great. So... we have no chats there. Let's see. If I wonder what people... Has everybody seen the trailer yet? I could run it now. I do have it. Oops, that's not the right one. It's going to be this whole thing all over again, isn't it? There we go. Window capture. I could run it now. And then run it again when people pop in. Or... yeah, what the hell.
I'm not your enemy. Show yourself.
Okay, you're hearing it, but I'm not.
There's a war coming. A terrible war. There will be chaos. Rivers of blood in the streets.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
I promise you, however dark and scary the world might be right now,
There is light.
Hey man, how's it going?
Because people were...
Henderson, what's up, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm actually just doing some writing. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hold on a second. Let me turn that off. Turn that on. There's your head.
Can you see me?
I can't see your face, but I can see your logo.
No. I don't have my avatar. I don't have my I don't have my camera on right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I was gonna watch the Gotham series trailer. I was gonna wait for some people to show up first, but what the hell?
Yeah. We can wait for some people. How you been doing, man? What are you working on?
I'm working on page 20. It doesn't say. Page 24, Lone Star 2.
Nice.
Which I plan on launching Thursday.
Wow, really?
I plan on it. But, so what I've got here, I've got a box full of gold label CG Seed 9.8 Lone Stars. Actually, two of them are 9.6. That kind of broke my heart. But I need cover B in order to finish Fulfilment. So I'm hoping they come in before Thursday because I want to get Fulfilment done before Thursday. But I want to launch on a Thursday so that it wraps on a Saturday. Because last time I launched on Friday and then it wrapped on Sunday and then I had to do it on Sunday. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing it on Sunday.
Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah, I'm waiting until the middle of next month. I had some issues with my T-shirts, so I sent them back, and now they're sending them to me, and a lot different on the next go-around.
Yeah.
I'm hiring a new fulfillment team, the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's been a pain, man. It's been a pain, but we learned a lot. I learned a lot, and now I'm getting ready to launch Indie Focus, which will have 3 or 4 different fulfillment companies that you can access. It'll have storage facilities locally to you. You can access. It'll have lots of different stuff we're cooking up. Plus Patreon and Indiegogo. So you can just launch blacklistuniverse.com, and it'll redirect directly to Lone Star 2.
Oh, right on.
Right? And if you want to do it on our platform or Indiegogo or Kickstarter or multiple, have your own portal, right? Why don't you launch Indiegogo and Kickstarter and Indie Focus at the same time?
You can't.
Why not?
Because Kickstarter, if there's competition for your product, Kickstarter will kick you off.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a big factor. I didn't know. Indie Focus.
My friend was working. My friend does these regularly. He was talking about another friend of his who had. I think he was at like $500,000, right? And then he offered what he had on the Kickstarter on his own website. And Kickstarter canceled his
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did he get the $500,000 back?
No. Because Kickstarter you don't get paid till the end.
Right.
So they canceled his freaking campaign. Like right at the end. It was like right at the end.
I gotta say, we're going on a vacation or something. You just saved me and Edwin and Pixel because I was under a wrong assumption.
Yeah.
I was coding my platform. I was code programming it on the back end to be able to launch all 3 at once.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You do Kickstarter first and then Indiegogo. If you're gonna use Kickstarter as well, you do that first and then Indiegogo.
Wow. Okay, man. Thank you for that. For real.
Yeah, no problem, man. So everything else going well on that site. Now you're writing down notes. You're like, don't do that.
I am, bro. I am. I didn't know that with Kickstarter, but I haven't done a lot because I'm coding our own Indiegogo. You could have your own platform. Forget the platform fees, or not as much. My biggest reason for doing this was when Patreon was jerking around with Mitch Breitweiser.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair, man. So I'm making our own membership portal that conservatives control.
Right. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. The hard part is always, just like DLive or anything else, it's building up the user base.
Yes, sir. Right, exactly. But what I'm focusing, and the easy part for me, honestly, is coding. That's my that's my background. So me and Pixel, he's amazing, and DJ Quaid, he's amazing. The coding part's easy for us, but you're right. The YouTube and the promotion is going to be the hard part for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll get there, I think.
Hey, it's just like all the competitors to YouTube, right? There might be great competitors out there for streaming and for video uploading and whatnot, but YouTube is where the user base is, and trying to move the user base over. That's why I thought the whole PewDiePie thing was great, because who's bigger in the space than Pewds? Nobody. T-Series maybe right now, but
Right.
That's
No, I'm gonna do D Live. I mean, we talk about doing more video. When I say we, like Pixel and Edwin and just other indie creators, but you approach it right, man. It's a job, and you got to treat it as such. And I just want to write. I'm already kind of semi-retired, so I have that mindset.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. When you're a creator, you can work for somebody else and let them worry about all that other crap. And I could sit down here and I could draw 20 pages, 25 pages a month, whatever it is, for a paycheck.
Right.
But if you're doing this on your own, you are your marketing, you are your IT, you are your freaking CF. Oh, I need to
everything, man.
Yeah. You're everything until you can get to the point where you can hire other people to do that for you.
Well, listen, if you ever need a writer for any of your ideas, I'm free for you. I just need to build my legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need money. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Plus, if you ever are like, man, I want to do something new, I have 40 more concepts. I can roll through with you. You got the pick of the litter. Anything you want. You mean in Comicsgate?
I mean, James Hudnall just passed
away. Oh, I understand.
And then,
right.
My friend James Rochelle passed away, and he's my age, so
yeah.
It's kind of, you never know, man. I mean, my freaking great grandmother lived to be 103, but
really,
then turn around and my grandfather on my mom's side only lived to be like 63. So who knows? You never know, man. You never know. So you're
right about that, man. That's why I'm trying to kind of carpe diem, seize the day, make my stories, whatever I can, work with who I can, make my legacy of creativity and have fun.
I hear you. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, man. Me too, brother. Me too.
Just drawing my time away, and yeah, it's weird because I was I was talking to Nasser about this the other day about Nasser doesn't like streaming. Right. But I'm like, it's a necessary part of the model nowadays. It's if you if
I don't like it either though, man, and I don't have time to make the videos. I still want to talk to your son. Maybe you can make them for me and I'll pay him. Yeah, but yeah, I gotta reach out to him. Send me his email. I'll email you to get his email and stuff. Okay. But that would be probably the best for me because I just like writing too. I'm writing this new G.I. Joe sci-fi kind of thing. It's a lot of fun, and I've liked writing new stuff.
Volume levels are messed up. Tell me what needs to be higher and what needs to be lower.
Okay.
No, not you. The chat. Oh. Big Johnson said the volume levels are messed up. So, yeah. My point was what I said earlier. It's like you end up having to do. I need to be louder. That just means I need to put this, or I could just turn this down a little bit. Hopefully that'll be commensurate. Yeah, but I have to do all this other crap now, so I'm not producing as much work as I would like to do, because, I'm an artist. I just want to sit here. I'm an artist, I'm a creator. I want to write, I want to draw. But this is the model. This is the model that Richard and Ethan and other people have proven to work. And I'm not going to try to remake the world here, but I'm going to try to I'm gonna try to work this model out, and if I can find better ways to improve this model, then I will do that. But obviously, this works. So
yeah,
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, and there's multiple other platforms, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and that would be great, you know. I mean, as long as you can bring in some kind of audience, but it is easier said than done. You know, some people can do it and get it going. You know, that's what kind of the plan with Indie Focus is going to be. You know, to create, you know, more of a platform that can have more than one person that can get their content out there. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not just one person that can do everything. It's
right.
Can do it all together.
Yep. It's got to get organized at some point. Because, yeah.
Well, like you know, if you have an idea. So here's how I envision Indie Focus, right? You have an idea. Let's say we want to do a music video. You know, there's a band and they want to create a music video. They need graphics designers, they need videographers, they need actors, they need music, you know, they need a place to do it at. They need, you know, there's a lot of things that can go into it. Or if a band wants to become a business, how do you have those resources? So, you know, we're going to provide a step 1, 2, and 3, you know. First step, you know, get your branding. Second step, you know, once your concept's established, incorporate. Right, and we'll walk indie creators through the process of how to do that.
Yeah. I could probably use some of that.
Well, everybody can, you know, and they can use your services too, right? You know, let's say somebody needs a great cover.
Even Von Scriber says he's so lost. What are you lost with, Evan? What's the problem, brother?
I'm done.
You're done with your homework? Mm-hmm. Do more. So I was outside teaching these kids how to throw knives yesterday.
Were you? Nice.
Yeah. And
do you have throwing stars or just throwing knives?
I got stars, I got knives.
Nice.
No throwing axes though. No throwing hatchets. But so I walk out there today and they're throwing knives and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you don't do this unless I'm here and I can see what you're doing.
Nice. Yeah. Be careful. Don't put an apple above your brother's head.
Yeah. That was one thing because I have these little kunais that weigh like, I don't know, a few ounces, right? But then I have these legit throwing knives that are like hefty, and I'm like, dude, that thing bounces back off of something. That could legitimately do damage, you know. I mean, the kunai could. Like,
did you see that video of the girl doing a throwing axe?
Yes.
Of the lady doing a throwing.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh!
Man. Thank goodness she moved quick.
I actually have some more here. I have not let them use these ones.
I love
these
throwing
are
stars.
actually
I
a
have
little bit smaller than the ones that
I don't see you. You're on.
Oh, you.
I only see your.
Oh, because I'm on OBS.
Ah, gotcha.
Sorry. Well, the chat can see it. These things are sharp too, man. Sharp.
When did you switch over to OBS?
Just recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that if I ever get it cooking.
So yeah, that's funny. You can't actually see me. I thought you guys could see me, but I guess
no, not in the chat. I'm looking at that.
Huh. Oh well, it's like a phone call then.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my phone and I can see it. Yeah.
It is what it is. What's Ethan Von Skyver? All right, let me check what they were saying on YouTube. Where's YouTube? Oh, Gotham. Here we go. That helps a bit. Thanks. I think I hopped in too late. Sounds like something happened that I'm unaware of. Mike is a ninja. Hey guys, I'm so lost. Chat is talking about Gotham finale. Mike is discussing Comicsgate thing. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was going to wait. Nasser and Critias were going to come in here and we were going to talk about the Gotham finale trailer. But they're taking their time getting here. So Ben is entertaining me.
I'm filling in,
yeah.
Everyone.
Ben's my fill-in. So at least I can ink while we're talking anyways.
So let's say, your estimation, some new artist, some kid, maybe one of my children, 16 years old, wants to really get into art. How long until they get good, as the kids say?
It's depends on two things: how much time they're willing to put into it, and how much they are able to learn from whatever the source, whether it's books or teachers or whatever.
Right.
I would generally give them. I would generally give anybody of a certain age the Bridgman and the Loomis books. Right.
Hold on one second. Write that down. The Bridgman and the Loomis books.
Yeah, George Bridgman's Complete Guide to Drawing from Life.
Okay. Bridgman, Drawing from Life. Okay, and what's the second one?
Andrew Loomis, Creative Illustration.
Loomis. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and start with Bridgman. Really, really, really study it. I don't mean look at the pictures and just copy stuff. I mean read the book. It is basically it's kind of like if an engineer did an anatomy book, right? And he explained the functionality and the form and the structure and the underlying mechanics of everything in the human body. Obviously, just the human form isn't everything you need to know about comic books, but if you can learn all that, you can learn perspective, you can learn storytelling, you can learn everything else. But the thing that people are going to pay the most attention to is how well can you draw the human form, right? All that stuff. Can you put those in the chat, Mike? I got to look in those. But yeah, hold on a second.
What do you think of schools like college, Savannah College of Art and Design, or, any of the other art schools? Do you have one that you recommend above others?
I don't. I do not look into them. I remember when I was younger, California's Art Center College of Design up in Pasadena was the best school on the West Coast, and I think Parsons was the best school on the East Coast. But I mean, it's the YouTube age. You can learn pretty much anything without having.
That's funny. My background's in tech, and people ask me, "Gosh, I got to do this and that," and I say, "Really, honestly, if you pass all the tests on Udemy for free and Treehouse for free, I'll hire you."
Udemy's not free.
You can't degree, as long as you have the skills.
Yeah, but that's.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, Udemy, man, Udemy. I think it's Udemy. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever it is. You get all those. You're learning from people who know how to do stuff, and are passing it along. You're not learning from somebody who went to college in order to be a teacher.
You're right. Also, I really love that Masterclass series. If anybody hasn't watched it, I bought the yearly subscription.
Oh yeah,
and it has Steve Martin and Neil Gaiman and all kinds of Ron Howard, the movie directors. It's a really cool series just to sit and veg out and listen to while you write or work.
Yeah, David Mamet did one of those. I need to. Give me your freaking password.
Right.
Artie Bear.
You gotta check that out. Man.
Are we vegging out? Can you hear me?
We are. What's up, bro?
Hey, man. I saw the bat signal. I thought I'd join in.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
How you doing, Ben?
In a bit.
Good, brother, man. How you doing? What are you working on?
I'm actually working on page 52 of Black and White, so I'm getting down to the end here. 54 pages.
Wait a second.
Nice.
And this is the redo, right? This is the
Yes.
So you could say that's the new 52.
Ooh, I like that. Actually, I wish. Well, the new 52 didn't work out so well. The first year went well, so after that, it kind of tanked.
So, what is up next for you after this? Once you finish the next 3 pages, what's up?
I'm gonna do. Well, it's more than 3 pages. I'm going out of order, but I'm going to bring out a new concept. Well, a new old concept. So I'm gonna tease that right now, and then I'll let you guys know more detail later.
Very cool, man.
Oh, that was your tease?
Yeah.
That
Was it not good?
That was not much of a tease.
Is it animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Ooh,
What does that have to
It's
do?
all the above.
Ah, that's no fun. Yes,
It's all
not
the
my
above.
monkeys, not my circus. I am live. This is live. I don't know if either of you paid attention, but I did a marathon of cross examinations on Easter through Monday morning.
Wow.
And it was just, well, it wasn't me. I ran my playlist with a live chat on the screen so people could chat, but it was Memorex. It was not live. It was.
That's a good idea, man.
Nobody
how many
ever done
views did you
it.
get?
I'd never seen anybody do it before, so I'm like, hey, what the hell? Well, what the heck?
I thought that there was something weird about that when I saw you practically all day when I kept coming back. I'm like, why is Mike doing this? He's got a family.
Why does he keep changing his clothes? Every hour, he's got something different on.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, and people kept coming in. Is this live? Is this live? It's like, no, man.
My favorite live stream was when Cecil just recorded silence for like 3 hours.
Cecil. Oh,
And
my
made-
gosh.
And he made super chats on, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you remember that George Carlin Tonight Show appearance where he just went on stage with a stool and he just sat there and he didn't say anything for the whole thing, for his whole time there?
No.
But it sounds like him, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna watch it.
Just a bunch of nervous laughter.
That's awesome, man. I love him. He's.
Did we lose Ben?
No, I'm here.
Oh. You stopped.
Yeah, I'm going to be working while we're talking, so I might not be the most entertaining here, so I apologize.
Yeah, me too.
No. It looks good. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, we're working on a lot of stuff. We got new stories we're putting out. I've made some shuffle arrangements. Both of you, as a newbie, making comics is not as easy as you two make it out to be. But it's been fun, man. It's been a learning experience, and we got some new stuff cooking, and just a lot of fun times ahead. Have you both, with your years of experience, seen any other time in comics history where it's been so much of a collaboration between veterans and indie creators?
Oh. No.
Well, I'm not collaborating really, so
Well,
I don't know.
I think he's talking about the community.
Yeah, the community in general, that this has happened where you can access resources and people. And
Well, yeah, it really did. Yeah, it really didn't happen at Image because they had either a written agreement or a verbal agreement that they couldn't use each other's studios. So there wasn't a lot of crossover there at Image. So I would say this is a pretty unique situation. What would you say, Mike?
I would say it is unique. I would also say that that no poaching rule at Image was not very capitalistic.
Yeah, I hear
But it did stop them from killing each other.
Yeah, and
but
people ask me, like, wow, the person using your
Hold on, Ben.
whatever.
To the detriment of whom? Right?
To Image Comics as a whole.
No. It was to the detriment of the artists they were hiring. Because they were agreeing to price fixing.
You know how much those guys were making, Mike?
Do you know how much they could have made if there wasn't a no poaching rule?
A new artist out of the gun without a proven track record? I don't know, man.
The market,
I
if the market sets the price.
think the market plus the Image eye plus the studio name amounts to a lot too.
Right. Well, when these kids were making $1,000 a page, but Wildstorm was making $10,000 a page, don't you think maybe if someone wanted to offer him $2,000 a page at another studio, Wildstorm might have gone, okay, well, we'll give you $2,500. Oh, we'll give you $3,000. All right.
They did for me. I never had an exclusive, so I actually worked at Extreme, and I worked for Todd McFarlane, and I worked for all the other studios, Top Cow and Wildstorm, at the same time.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I worked for everyone. I think. Well, I worked for Extreme, and I worked for Wildstorm, and I worked for Eric. So, but
so they didn't adhere to it anyways, I guess.
well, there were the exclusive boys. It's like everyone can't hire Travis Charest because he can only do one page a week. But you get you get R.T. Barry, you get Mike Miller, and they can ink 2 or 3 pages a day. You can have them working at multiple studios.
Yeah, I think also they couldn't really control me the same way that they could control like a Dan Frega or Marat Michaels or even a Dave Finch at Top Cow. Those guys just didn't have any. I mean, that was their first work, so they didn't even have any connections at Marvel or DC or anything like that anyway.
Right. No, I mean, I understand from the studio's perspective that why they did what they did. I just think that from the artist perspective, yeah, they were getting paid what they would consider a lot of money, but they were still being price fixed.
Yeah, but if they went over to Marvel or DC, they would not make anything close to that. So
no, but that's not the market. The Image was the market at the time that they were trying to get all the best and brightest.
Right, but who else would they work for then? The other studios?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if Mike Turner had been offered, Mike got a gig. I don't know why he went with Top Cow, because he sure could have worked at freaking Wildstorm. But say he started working at Top Cow, and then Wildstorm was like, "Well, I'll give you an extra $1,000 bucks a page to work here." That's good.
He could have done it.
Yeah, that's good for Mike.
Yeah, but he could have done it, Mike. He didn't have to stay there. He could have quit there and then went over.
No. But that's what I'm saying, because they wouldn't have offered it to him because he was already there and they had the no poaching rule set up. If they didn't have the no poaching rule, then the artist wouldn't have been price fixed.
Price fixed at $1 billion a page.
It wasn't, though.
I don't know. There are a lot of guys at Extreme Studios that made quite a bit of money.
I think you're missing my point, Art.
I'm getting your point, but I'm just like, if you're being taken care of at a studio structure and you're making more money than you would at Marvel or DC, then I think you're already ahead of the game. And also there has to be a certain level of loyalty because those guys took a chance on you when you were nothing. And also the main reason a lot of those books were selling wasn't because of those names. It was because of Rob, Jim, Mark Silvestri, Todd McFarlane. So it was their names and it was their brand that those guys were making that money from. It wasn't just them. If it was, then maybe, but I don't know. I mean, if you're part of a studio structure and somebody takes a chance on you, I think there should be, some loyalty there.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I think that loyalty should have been the decision of the individual artist.
Well, I'm sure it was. They could always have quit.
You're not listening. It couldn't have been if they had the no poaching rule. And isn't that why they
quit and went to Marvel? They could have quit and went to Marvel.
I'm not talking
DC.
about Marvel. The no poaching rule was between the studios.
Right.
And isn't that because Rob was actually poaching? Isn't that why they kicked him out?
Well, I think they all had crossover stuff, but I think that there was an agreement. Like if you went to Todd and said, "Hey, could we use this guy or that guy or the other guy?" Then as long as there was an understanding, it would be okay. Because I think Anthony Wynn did some stuff with Jim at Wildstorm.
Who did?
Anthony Wynn.
I don't even remember him.
And then I think he went from Extreme to, I think he did some stuff with Wildstorm, and then he went over to Top Cow.
Why do I not remember him? Eh. Anyways,
He was one of your people. He was an Asian guy.
one of my people. What do you think, Ben?
I'm not at the same level. I was the kid at the very, very, very back of the line trying to get signatures from Jim Lee and, and probably, everybody. But, right now, people call me and they're like, Ben, can I use your artist or this inker or this? My answer by default is as much as you can. I want as much creativity out of this person as I can see to consume. That's why we're doing this, is because the mass corporate entertainment that we've been fed has not been satisfying. It has not filled my belly. It has not made my kids happy. So, I want to, if the people that I'm collaborating with, I get excited when they get brought into other projects, But I'm not at that level, where you're producing a comic book, where it's so high stakes like 90s Image.
All right.
I can just imagine. I don't know, but I just see the big numbers, financially, and I'm sure it's I'm sure it was high stakes.
It was fairly high stakes, yeah.
Liam says that Poaching is short-term and scummy, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it is at the detriment of the artists themselves when you're not allowed to exist in a competitive marketplace for your skills.
So here's how I do it. Like I want.
Yeah, but I think you're missing. I still think you're missing my point, Mike. If they wanted to, all those guys have to do is quit. Like if you were at Extreme Studios, right, and the no poaching rule, all you have to do is quit Extreme and then go to work for Wildstorm. The poaching was that you couldn't work at the same places at the same time. So if you quit one and went to the other, you could do that still.
But no, Poaching would have been being offered the gig, right?
Yeah.
So if Jim went to Marat, and he's
but then you'd have to prove that it was poached, and then you'd get into a whole bunch.
Well, he'd have to give the offer, and then Marat would have to quit Extreme and then go work for them. That would be poached.
Well, what if
and that was
Marat? What if Marat had been talking to Jim casually, at a con, and then Jim said, "Yeah, there's stuff here for you if you want," and so then
that would have been poaching.
Jim, right? But that happens all the time.
But that didn't happen at Image.
It did happen there,
but it was frowned upon.
Well, yeah, it was frowned upon, but it still happened.
But is that
and
not
as long
right?
and the integrity, as long as that guy quit the other studio, then that artist could still move on and go to a different place and get a better deal if he wanted to.
But you don't.
Was there ever a case where someone did quit and they were blacklisted?
I'm sure there was from studios. If it hurt that person that was running the studio, they probably would, be vindictive, and if that person came back, they might not be as welcome.
But it was.
Sure.
I know when I went back to Marvel, I wasn't exactly welcome.
Yeah, it was though, was it not? The reason that they kicked Rob out because he was poaching from the other guys.
I don't know. I know that well, I'm not going to get into it. There was a lot of unethical stuff that was going on. I think, it's just like laws here that we govern ourselves with. If there's somebody that's willing to work within the parameters of the law, they do. But there's always somebody that's not going to, stop at the stop sign or whatever. So there's always going to be that. There's what you strive for, and then there's what the reality of it is. So there was poaching going on.
And how old were these guys? How old was Rob and Jim at this time, do you think?
They were probably in their late 20s, maybe. Or
mid to late 20s. Can you imagine being in that? I remember the big crowds, at every store, and everybody thought a bunch of people thought their college funds for their kids were paid for by buying, Youngblood #1. And you know what I mean? Can you imagine being 25 and dealing with that?
Oh,
I saw a lot. The main thing about it was those guys, and I would tell them at Extreme, I'd say, you have to make quarterly payments on your taxes. And they're like, whatever, whatever. I go, they'll penalize you if you don't make those quarterly taxes on time. Whatever, whatever. Then at the end of the year, man, a third, like 30% of their income or whatever gets shelled out, 40%.
I was like 16 and I had a big test, and I sent my mother to get Jim Lee's signature on a bunch of X-Men #1 at a con. And she came back to me. She's like, I don't know. I hope that was the right person. He looked your age. I don't think that was the artist. He looked your age because he looked so young to her.
He probably had Brett Booth signing him.
It might have been.
So, Mike, were you ever poached?
not technically, because I just asked. I think I was working for Eric when I started getting work from Wildstorm, and Eric didn't care. I was like, yeah, go ahead.
Did you want to get poached? Like, you wanted to be wooed, right? Everybody wants that.
Well, I was already getting paid handsomely from Eric, and nobody. But that's the thing. I wanted to work for Jim. I wanted to work at Wildstorm. So
there you go.
I probably would have taken less money. So I
So
think
Jim was going to pay you less?
I don't even remember what the rates were. Jim probably paid me less. Eric was giving me a good rate for Freak Force.
That's cool.
Yeah. That was an easy book too. I wonder whatever happened to Victor.
So what are you working on, right? What are you working on, Mike?
Page 24.
Oh, cool.
Page 24.
Were you going to launch that this month or next month?
I was
When are you
planning
gonna
on
do
launching it on Thursday if I can get my my slabbed cover Bs in, so I can finally finish this fulfillment. That's all I'm waiting for is the slabbed cover Bs. I got the cover A's in yesterday, so I packed those. Oh, I got to get those out to the post office today. And now it's just the B's. Once I get the B's in, boxing, slapping, shipping, and then I'm ready to go. I'm done.
Well, let us know when you're going to do it. I'll make sure I blast on my social media.
All right.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yes, Liam.
I love that
page...
cover. I love the glass breaking cover for real,
page
and the darker colors. That was awesome, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Mike, that cover is brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm doing this thing and I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna work the last cover, but I'm gonna do 4 different covers. Actually, I'm gonna do 8 different covers, but it's only 4 different art. Like I'm gonna do virgin variants as well, but only 2 are gonna be available at a time. So it'll be the regular cover and then the virgin variant available. And
that sounds kinky, Mike.
And then I'm gonna do like I said, 2 at a time. So each cover will be available for 1 week.
Ah.
And then that's what I don't know what to do at the end, because I want to have the last one be available indefinitely, because I'm not going to close it after a month. So
the last tier, you'll have 1 tier that's available indefinitely, or
yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. And
okay.
Yeah. So not sure.
I'm planning on only 3 different offerings. A VIP tier, where you can get access to the book and all of them together. I'm kind of structuring it like a comic book of the month club. You'll get one every couple of months that'll come out. It'll be a set schedule. Then the gold tier, you have better quality books. Maybe a hardcover, and then the diamond tier, you're going to have T-shirts and original art and 11 by 17 options, the whole shebang. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the 11 by 17 metal print option, Like as
Uh-huh.
part of. I'm not sure if I want to deal with that though, because they're so expensive to get
I
printed.
love the 11 by 17s. Maybe it's just me. I got Graham Nolan's Monster Island and flipped out about it. I got Doug TenNaples' Bigfoot Bill, and me and my kids still read it. It's just that big. I don't know. It looks like a tome.
Oh no, I have it right here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yes, Liam, I'm already up to page 24. I am indeed. That's a Herculean effort. Yeah, having all the different tiers is kind of a pain, but it kind of kept my family from being able to help me as much. Like when I had like the bulk stuff, I could have my me and my son and my daughter and my wife were sitting at the table, and it was like mechanized. It's like you do this. It was just like this assembly line, and we were just blowing through stuff. Like we could do hundreds of packages in a day. But then when it got down to the multiple packages and all that stuff, it's like I have to do everything because there's no way to streamline that whole thing, which I'm perfectly willing to do it, especially for if it takes me 15 minutes to pack something, but that something cost the buyer $250, it's worth it.
Right. Sure.
Quite a different scenario. What's up, Critias? Is he gone? He was here for a second. There he is.
Oh, there
Here he is.
He probably can't hear you guys though, because he has problems with his his setup.
he's on mute right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Antonio, you're muted.
Was Gary on your show, Mike? Where was it? Critias and Gary couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, that's the one.
My gosh, that was comedic gold. That was so damn funny. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, man.
I blame Gary.
I hope that Gary is just a comedic genius because it comes off so effortless. You don't want, how there's people that are just naturally funny. They just talk funny or they do funny things.
Uh-huh.
But I want to believe that Gary is just he's just a gifted comedian.
Dude, Gary is freaking hilarious. Like legit dry humor comedy gold. That guy.
Exactly.
You guys hear me
Not
now?
bad of an artist either.
Yeah, I can hear you, Crid. Can everybody else hear Critias?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, Ben? How's everything?
Good, bro. How about you?
Oh, okay. What's up, Mike? What's up, Art?
Hey, Critias, I saw that page that you posted in the chat with the old school, like mobsters in the cars and stuff.
Right.
That looked killer. That looked
Yeah.
so good, man.
I fell in love with that page when I saw it.
It looks really authentic. Whoever you got penciling is really doing the homework to get the cars and the period stuff right.
Yeah. I've been helping him with some references, just to be sure, because I want to be on the same page as him.
You're the Larry Hama of Comicsgate. You ever hear about Larry Hama?
No.
On Wolverine, and whenever he would write a book for his artist, whenever there was something that he had written that was out of the norm in the script, he would also furnish visual reference. And that was, as an artist, man, that means so much because a lot of the time that we spend is just trying to look this stuff up. And so Larry used to just furnish that stuff for people.
Hey, Art. So that is one of the big things that Chuck Dixon told me to change about my screenplay kind of focused writing style. And all of my comic book scripts are now full length with that kind of reference from, I just Google the pictures and say, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, you're one of the good guys then, because that's great as an artist to get that stuff.
Well, he said that's the way to do it, and that's the way I'm doing it.
Well, old school, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I like to get references. I just want to make sure that, we understand everything. Like, for example, my colors wrote to me. He's like, hey, these pages, I don't know what colors you want me to throw, because I was thinking about doing like a monochrome. And I said, well, back then the colors were like, like dull, like green or, blues, so I sent him reference colors just so you can look at it.
That's cool, man.
What do you mean back then colors were?
Like they were a little bit more like they They wasn't as fancy as now, you know.
They usually wore like more tones than actual color.
Right,
So even
right.
if it was a green, it was a grayed down green, browns, whites, blacks. So there wasn't a lot of color. So clothing and stuff now have a lot more color, neon lights. There's just a lot more color in a contemporary setting than there was back then.
Right, right.
I don't know that that's
Right.
true.
I think it's totally true.
Yeah.
You're just looking at
Because
black
the
and
pictures
white
I looked at from
images.
like the
If you look at Creus's logo right now, those things didn't exist back
Oh
then.
well, yeah, neon stuff. Well, when did they start making neon?
probably the 80s, 70s,
No, it
maybe.
wasn't the 80s. Come on,
Think so?
no way.
Probably the 50s, because the 50s
yeah,
they had
50s,
those, you know.
Maybe even the 40s.
Right.
I think
you
color
talking
didn't really start
Someone should
coming
be
into
googling
vogue.
that in the chat. When did they create neon?
I think the '60s started pushing color, and even movies and stuff were all black and white. So there wasn't a lot of color back then.
But wasn't there?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The
I'm
movies
fair,
were black
yeah,
and white, but that doesn't mean life was black and white.
Right.
Yeah, but they just didn't. I mean,
They didn't have bright
can
colors.
you imagine like watching an old like period mobster and have some guy have a pink vest on or a purple hat? It didn't happen, Mike.
Yeah.
They had
Like, you
pink- they had purple clothes in Christ's time. Why do you think the 20s
I
they
think-
didn't have
And they
colorful?
didn't have them. They didn't wear them. I'm not saying that those colors didn't exist.
You know what? I'm gonna look something up.
You just mean it wasn't stylish. Is that what you-
I think what I was trying to say, like I'm trying to say also is that the colors were so bright, you know, there wasn't so like
I think what Curtis is trying to say, Mike, is you're wrong.
yeah. Thanks, man. Because when I did the research, like you see a lot of grays, a lot of browns, a lot of greens, you know, they dark colors.
Because they were more practical. They were more practical people.
Right.
Who were?
People.
In the 30s.
In
People in the
general.
30s, yeah.
In the 30s.
They didn't have a
Did-
lot.
You've seen films about the Roaring '20s, right? So you think they all just started dumbing down their color schemes in the 30s?
No.
Those are your words.
I
Mike.
think
never-
what happens with every generation, there's like a style that they adapt, you know.
Like I think the '60s brought in the day glow rainbow colors.
The lava lamps.
Well, I think the thing is, men have always worn darker clothes.
I think you're right about that. More earth tones.
Yeah, and women have always
Until Miami Vice. Until
women
Miami
have
Vice.
always
they wore,
peacocked. All right, you know what?
pastel.
I'm sharing this. I'm sharing
You're
this.
right. Miami Vice did change everything. The
I
80s,
love
man.
Miami Vice, man.
Yeah.
Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Liam
I always
Gray
make it-
says,
Elvis made it cool to wear pink.
Yeah.
Liam
That
Gray
was
just
it.
donated and said, guys, Mike is old enough to know this. Hey, Art is older than I am, okay?
Yeah, but I'm taller.
He was that. No, you-
Oh.
we have photographic evidence that is a lie.
Oh,
Hey, Pixel Trader said you were shoving me down in the photograph. And if you look, you can
Not bloody likely.
Anybody got to see that video by Zach? I haven't seen it yet. I want to watch it. Where he's talking about how inkers are very important.
No.
yeah, I did. Yeah, inkers are. I love the inkers I've worked with in the past.
Right. I was thinking the same
I'm
thing.
just waiting for Art to agree. To come over to Cautionary. He's going to be my next inker.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Art's,
I think
Art's doing
if
his
I'm
own
gonna
thing now.
I'm just trying to do my own thing right now, so I don't want to ink as much anymore.
Right.
I hear you.
But inkers are absolutely, they can make or break a book, and that's why I ended up inking myself, because too oftentimes, man, you spend all this time and effort penciling a page, and then you hand it to an inker who freaking sucks, and it just kills the desire to put your effort into the book.
What do you think about new inkers? Is there a big pipeline of new inkers somewhere? Is there
No.
a school for new inkers somewhere? Is there?
There's no.
Where are they coming out of that I can find them?
Good luck.
Out of my studio.
All right. Send some people my way, Art.
The guy that I got now, he's an awesome inker. I love that guy.
The problem.
You got,
the problem
you got
with
Peter
inking-
Palmiotti, right?
No, I got Peter Palmieri doing like a short story that I did, but I got the original guy that I got like before I found Peter was Carlos Eduardo. He's from Brazil. He does amazing line work, like with the inks.
So Jeremy Clark Art is one of the inkers that I love in the industry. He does a lot for Zenoscope.
Yeah, I know Jeremy.
Yeah, he's very good. Very good. He did. Yeah, he's great.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
The problem with inking is it doesn't pay well. It's not appreciated. And so the talent, it's hard to maintain a career as an inker, because it just doesn't pay as well as penciling does. And frankly, I can pencil faster than I can ink.
Right.
You know.
And that's the thing, right? Like the inkers, they got to take the time to make sure they don't screw up with the pencil. You know, what the pencil guy did.
Yeah, and
what the artist did.
Too many editors don't know the difference between good inking and bad.
Right.
Well, also you had companies like Marvel that didn't. I mean, was it CB came out, recently and said inkers are important? Bullshit. That guy treated me so horribly over there. Marvel treats inkers horribly.
Yeah.
Really?
And, yeah, I mean, up to the point where I left.
Wow.
And to be honest, I left for. Well, I'll tell this story at some point. I'm not going to tell it now, but it wasn't great circumstances, and I just think because I also just to back up, this is kind of where I got the tell from Marvel, and this was like when I was doing Ultimate Spider-Man. I run a studio here, Hack Shack Studios, and so I had this idea that we would diversify, so we would have a color house, and then we would do lettering as well. So I had really good talent that was in-house that could do both of those things. So we started branding the studios that we would do all the back-end work, pencils, colors, and lettering. So we would basically return to Marvel a completely finished book. And so I remember meeting with Joe Quesada about this, and then the first thing that came out of his mouth was like, "What? You afraid of losing your job as an inker?" And I was like, "You're a dick."
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah. So I knew that the writing was on the wall back then. So another thing what they were doing, Marvel was doing is because I was working with liquid color a lot, so we would team up on books, pencils, and colors. And so they made what's his name, Salvador Larroca, actually choose on a book between colors and inks because they said they couldn't afford me and Chris and Aaron at the same time. So they were doing crap like this all the time. So they were demeaning inkers because they knew that colorists were coming up the ranks. So instead of like giving, like keeping inkers happy and then paying, a colorist good wage as well, what they did is they just combined those two as one. So they treat colorists and inkers the same, and they just divvy up their money now because they look at it as they both have the same voice on a book. You know what I mean? They both define what the book is going to look like. I totally disagree, but that's their little penny pinching way to save money.
Right. That sucks, man.
Well, I've been looking. I mean, I'll tell you, as a new publisher, I have a tidal wave of people, pencilers and colorists and writers that come to us. Look, I hardly find any inkers. It's just what I've seen over the past 12 months. Nobody really saying, "Hey, I want to be focused on this. This is my specialty."
Well, I think what happened too is that Marvel, I think, were the ones that started most of this BS. But what they were doing is they were encouraging pencilers like that Salvador Larroca thing. Larroca wasn't inking his own pencils. They were just enhancing the pencils to make them look like ink. Yeah. And so then they started this whole BS. They started calling like a colorist that enhanced pencils. Basically, they just high contrast them from gray to black and do a little bit of cleanups. They were calling those guys digital inkers. Yeah. Remember that, Mike?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were calling those guys digital inkers. So they did everything in their power to kind of demean the inker so that they could kind of belittle them so that they could then give some of that money to the colorist. So I think what you see now, Ben, is the reason maybe there's not as many inkers is because Marvel would incentivize to pencilers more money if they could either tighten up their pencils or do a pseudo ink line. So I think that's why you see a lot of these books that are penciled and somewhat inked by the same talent because they get a little bit of extra money to do that.
Well, I have most pencilers coming to me and saying, "Yep, I'm the pencil and inker. Everything's awesome." Now, some have been great. I've seen guys like Jimbo Salgado. He does some loose pencils, and then boom, he puts out all this ink and amazing detail. But somebody coming to me like the best I can reference who I've worked with, Jeremy Clark. It's a different skill set, and it does. I told my oldest daughter she's applying to Savannah College of Art and Design. I told her to focus on what you do, Art. I said, hey, if I was to hire somebody for big money, it'd be a great inker.
Yeah, that might be you,
made-
but that's not most publishers. That's the problem.
You mean that's what most like illustrators, or
Like
you
I
mean
said, it's an unsung. They're unsung heroes. They can make or break a book. I mean, literally.
right?
Yeah, I think Mike had the same thing where they would hire us to be heavy-handed on a penciler because the penciler wasn't quite there. So they would rely on, your pencil skills to finish and complete the stuff. And sometimes they would pay you extra as a finisher and sometimes they wouldn't.
Dude, that's how I started my career at Malibu. They would give me pencilers and they'd be like, "Hey, can you fix this stuff?" And I'm like, "Why don't you just hire me as a penciler?" It's like, well, because this is already done. We just need it inked and fixed. I'm like,
I had only ever bought commissions before I started this a year ago, so literally I knew nothing John Stone, kind of stuff, about the publication of it. But I had always bought finished commissions, right? So I was working with some amazing artists, and they would send me in, different phases of the work, and I'm like, what is this? I'm not paying for this. What is it? And then I'm like, but yeah, I like the layout. It's looking cool. And then of course they come back with amazingly detailed ink work and, very, very cool stuff. But it really showed me how important amazing inkers are.
Yeah.
And then I saw a cover that I had penciled by an amazing artist I love. And then I saw Jeremy Clark do it, redo it in inks. And it was beautiful. I have it on my wall, actually.
Yeah. Hey, Liam Gray. Hold on, Liam Gray for $2 said, who else is underappreciated? Letterers.
True. Eric Wetters is my guy. He's an amazing letterer.
I think letters got themselves into trouble when they went digital.
Did Eric do Jawbreakers? He did, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
All right, there's and I didn't even notice this when I was reading it, but when Richard was talking about it, I think the letters aren't the letters are rasterized. They were combined onto the black file for the art. The art should be rasterized. The letters should always be vectorized. That's why you have to get those clean cut letters like you get on the other books. So I told that to Richard. I hope that's the problem there. Otherwise, I don't know why his letter came out fuzzy. But hey, you guys want to watch this Batman trailer?
Yes.
All right. I don't know if you can't see it on my screen, but you can at least listen to it. 1 second. Let me see if I can figure this out. Boop. All right.
All I see is your icon.
Okay. Well, everyone else can see it, so you can just listen. Have you seen it already?
No, not at all.
Oh, well, are you at the computer? You can play it at the same time.
Yeah. No, I'm watching it. I'm actually on my phone. So.
Okay. All right.
My phone and the computer.
I'm not your enemy. Show yourself.
There's a war coming. A terrible war. There will be chaos. Rivers of blood in the streets.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
I promise you, however dark and scary the world might be right now,
There is light.
Who is that right there? Is that supposed to be Bane? Oh, you guys.
Yeah.
The one that knocks Gordon out? I think it
Yeah, it
was.
looks like he might be.
All of this happened
Yeah.
because people were trying to hurt the people I care about.
Got the mask
I
on.
will be
So.
here whenever you need me.
That's what my parents used to tell me. When I know I'm able to protect the people I love, when Gotham needs me, I will return.
It began a few weeks ago. Someone attacking the gangs downtown.
I just couldn't give a description, but did mention a growling.
Growling. Cobblepot gets out of Blackgate tomorrow. After 10 years. One theory is he's sending someone to put
I like
the
the
fear of
cinematography.
God into
It's
the
pretty good.
underworld.
Yeah.
What Jim Gordon's role in your incarceration? Do you seek revenge?
The best revenge against Jim Gordon will be a life spent serving the city I love.
So this is Bruce's new Gotham. I like the old one.
Selena, I want.
I like the other actress better.
to see you again.
He doesn't get to come back after 10 years and act like nothing's happened. Where is he?
I'm afraid travels abroad haven't increased Master Bruce's respect for punctuality.
GCPD!
I'm actually watching this through your YouTube channel.
Show
That's the
yourself.
only way I can see it.
I'm not your enemy.
What the hell is going on?
I have to talk to Bruce Wayne. I did not spend 10 years in Blackgate to give my city to a man dressed like a bat!
Oh, the brother looks cheesy, man.
Oswald.
One more word, I will put a bullet
they
in you
all
here and now.
I'm the Riddler. And tonight, Gotham will remember
Yeah.
that.
By blowing up this ding dong? Can you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't done it for me. I haven't really watched.
That is a great line, though. Did you hear that? Hold on.
Remember that.
By blowing up
No,
this
what was
ding
it?
dong?
Here,
Can you
listen.
do that?
And tonight, Gotham will remember that.
By blowing up this ding dong? Can you do that already?
It's a callback.
Turn around!
I didn't hear it.
Mr. Here, Jim, all those years ago, our story is over.
This is what this is the last episode, the season
Yeah, it's
finale.
the last
Bruce
episode of the
sends his
series.
profound apologies. He's otherwise engaged.
So what happens now?
Did he even do good as a show, or was it struggling?
Why are we at your old club? Let me just
think it did
suggest
good.
something.
Oh God, it's too late.
Turn around.
Harley.
How many?
I was waiting for him to come home.
The Joker looks
Is
terrible.
that Harley Quinn?
Yeah, Harley's right. Call back to the 89. Oh, what's that? Legend of the Dark Knight. So yeah,
That Joker looks diseased.
yeah. It really does kind of look. I don't know.
Like the villains, they don't seem genuine to me. You know, it just seems look plain to me.
Well,
But the
thing
cinematography,
is
like the
that it
color
looks-
scheme and all that.
it looks cartoonish. The cool thing about Gotham was it was like so. Even though it's like you're not sure what the hell decade it's supposed to take place because it looks like it's from the 50s, but they've got cell phones and all this. It's this real kind of anachronistic
It was cyberpunk.
place and time they live in, but it's just grounded in this gritty film noir sort of a setting, and that's kind of what makes it cool. And then you have all the and now you're getting into the like, oh, it's 10 years later, suddenly everybody is cartoon characters, right? Comic book
Right.
characters.
It's the WB-ification of Batman. You know? I mean, there's no menacing. There's no menace to the story.
What
Do you think
Art?
maybe they focus on too many characters?
Well, that's the thing. It's the last episode, so it's got to be, you know, it's kind of launching it into whatever, you know, I don't know. It feels like they're trying to launch it into the 1989 Batman series.
Right.
What do you think, Art?
I think you're right.
Oh, good. We're done then.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I can't see what you're putting in, but I think you're right as far as just what you described with the art direction.
Yeah. Because they are. They're. It's the Riddler. He looks goofy, but he looks like the Riddler. Right? Whereas before he was just this menacing guy who did riddles and Edward Nygma, and he's kind of creepy and dark and all that stuff. But now he's like sporting the green Riddler suit and the hat and everything, and he really looks like the Riddler, but it doesn't look like it fits the show. It looks like it fits Batman 66,
Well, it sounds like they're trying to do fan service, like at the end, where in Smallville they're saying you're never going to see him fly, you're never going to see him fly, and then they show him fly. So it sounds like it's just
what?
fan.
They showed Superman fly at the end?
I thought they did.
I believe they do, but I think they don't really show him in the suit.
They don't show him in the suit, right. Yeah.
Which sucks.
Matthew
That's what everybody
Fowler
wanted.
says it looks cosplay-ish. Yeah.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I kind of really do like the way the Penguin looks. It's just, it doesn't really fit into that Gotham feel. The way the show has felt. It feels like the show was its own thing outside of really being the comics. It was like sort of comics inspired, comics tangential, but its own thing. And now it feels like when you're bringing in the comic characters legitimately, it feels a little shoehorned and out of place.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the characters themselves just don't fit in with what they had originally in mind.
Well, I think it's just what Mike said. They just shoehorned it in because it was the season finale and they wanted to give some fan service, so that's what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that Bane, that was Bane. That's ridiculous. They should have just had some freaking hulking dude wearing a Lucha Libre mask.
Right, with hairy arms.
Yeah.
Bane,
Please let that be
that's
my
it.
bees. UPS is downstairs. I'm hoping it's my cover bees.
Trying to see if I find out why they forced it like this. Oh, the Scarecrow looks good.
Well, it's the end of the series. I mean, the Harley Quinn looks like but she looks like the Harley Quinn out of the video games, not out of the comics.
Right.
Come on, dude.
I hate articles like this. You think you're gonna get a piece of information, they give you like 2 sentences and the article's over.
They're doing it just to piss you off, Critics.
Yeah. These people.
Darn it! I think he's going to my neighbor's
I would
house.
take it personal if I was you.
Oh man! I think UPS is going to my
It's about
neighbor's
a
house.
spin-off.
I'm not going to get my cover bees today.
All right. Screw that article.
Screw you, article.
Yeah. Screw the guy who wrote that. All they did was say there might be a spin-off. Yeah, that Joker looked diseased. He looked like
that Joker looks terrible. What the heck?
Yeah.
The actor's great. I like the actor from Shameless. He was in that series, which is really good. But yeah, I don't like the Joker.
Yeah. He looked like he came out of an experimental zone from the what was it, World War II testing site.
Hey, I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Didn't really fit Joker. It's something else. But a lot of this, even the MCU, is people's interpretation, for better or worse.
That's the
I'm
thing.
not really looking forward to the next phase. This phase 4 they're talking about.
Right.
There's nothing that's jumping out at me, But hey, they have X-Men now. Maybe they'll do a cool X-Men or a Ghost Rider or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
They do it right. Yeah.
Get Nicolas Cage to play Ghost Rider. That'd be awesome.
Hey, the movies weren't as bad. I think the CG was.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it looked like he tried to put his heart into the Ghost
Right.
Rider, because they showed like you see like the behind the scenes where he's like trying to figure out the character and how the character behaves and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's
He
one of
was trying hard.
Ghost Rider's my fave. At least one of them for sure.
Right, the first one.
Five.
First one.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Black and White to come out. It's gonna be a good show.
Me too.
Art, you beg to differ on that, or
Black and White is going to be a show?
I don't know. You didn't hear about that?
Wow.
We're pushing it.
I can't wait as well.
I made the backing deals. You'll get a check, hopefully.
20%, Critias. Check is in the mail. Finder's fee.
Hey, Art, let me ask you a
you.
question, right? You're with Circle Confusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you send a query letter, did you send a query letter to them, or how did that happen?
You mean how I got signed with them?
Yeah.
They saw me at the San Diego Comic-Con. I had an independent book, and they really liked it.
Man.
And so it just kind of came out of that.
Oh, okay, 'cause they're really good. That's a really good company, man.
Yeah, they were nothing when I signed with them.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had the Wachowski brothers, but that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Dang it. It wasn't my cover.
Can you ask what they if you don't mind, like, if you got time, can you find out what they like to see in a query letter?
Yeah, I can try.
What you talking about?
Because I wanna write a query letter to them. I've been wanting to do that with them for a long time.
I think just try to get your book in front of them. So
Right.
I think the biggest thing is
What are you guys talking about?
get your book done and then send it to them.
Because I got movie scripts and I want to like send a script that I wrote. I was trying to figure out
You
how
guys
to
are
go
ignoring me.
about it. Sorry, but we're talking about query letters and trying to find management.
Here, there we go. See, that's what Joker should look like. Oh, you guys can't see.
I'm looking.
You should look like your icon, Mike.
No.
The one
That is
behind
funny
you.
though that you can't. Oh, because my camera is being used by OBS. So
Mike hate us. That's what it is. You don't like us, Mike.
well,
One he was out of the loop.
this just works better. I'm streaming on 4 different platforms. Well, actually, right, I don't have this set for Facebook, so I'm streaming on 3 different platforms right now.
Are you streaming on Twitch now?
I'm streaming on Twitch, DLive, and YouTube all at the same time.
What's your Twitch? Until I find you.
Underdog Mike. And D Fresh just donated an ice cream on DLive. Thank you, D Fresh, for your delicious ice cream. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Art, don't worry about doing all this fancy stuff. You wouldn't know.
You got 300 views on Twitch. It looks like.
Wait, what?
You got 300 views on Twitch.
Like total views, dude. My Twitch is dead. My Twitch is nothing. But I'm just gonna stream it there anyway. So.
No, of course. I mean, eventually it'll build up. It takes time.
Yeah.
What do you all think about your about DLive?
I like DLive.
Yeah, why?
It's decentralized, so there's no YouTube Nazis gonna come in and whack my channel, and when you donate on DLive only takes 10%. So they have the lemons and the ice creams and all that stuff, and that's using a cryptocurrency called Linu. But when you transfer the Linu out, you have to have at least 2,000 minimum to transfer out, which is only like, I don't know, $20, give or take. It's they only take 10%, and then you can transfer it right into your PayPal account, or you can transfer it right into Bitcoin, which I'm probably gonna do.
Right.
Okay.
That's cool.
So
Very cool.
So
Yeah, I was
there's 9 people watching on DLive right now, and I don't know how many. I have too many YouTubes open. All right.
But I found those what do you call it, I guess in-stream currency or whatever it is that they have. It's pretty expensive, I think.
Linu on DLive.
For the coins, yeah, the coins like was like 7,500 coins for like $100. It's like, wow, that's a lot.
$7,500 for $100.
I think so. I don't forget how much was it. I'll check it out the other day. I did subscribe.
I
You
don't.
know, like,
I don't
signed
think you
on.
have to buy $100 worth.
See, no, you don't have to. I'm saying like, the price to get a
So
certain
you
amount
can
of
get
coins.
75 for $1, is what you're saying.
Okay,
That's not expensive.
so like for example, $108 you get 77,000 coins.
That's a lot of coins.
You think so?
I mean, you can donate them one at
I mean,
a time, or
you
you
gotta
can
compare
donate
it.
them.
Like compare it to like the Lamborghinis and the Ninja Guineas or whatever it is that you can send to people.
Well, yeah, Ninja
You know?
Guinea is 1,000, so that's what, $10, right?
Right. No, is it?
Well, how much are you?
Is it?
I don't have a calculator.
Let me check your channel. Let me check. What's your D live right now?
I'm on D Live right now. Yeah.
What is it, Underdog Mike?
I am Blacklist Universe on D Live.
Give me a second.
D Live, D Live.
Somebody stole your name.
But it's important that we get away from being monopolized by YouTube because they can shut us down at any minute, you know?
Right? Yeah, decentralized.
I found you.
Yeah, you guys know what happened to Steven Crowder, right?
Whoa, what happened?
Steven Crowder,
Dude,
really?
he had 1 million subs. So imagine how much money he was making just in ad revenue. And then he goes in one day, and they've demonetized his channel.
Wow.
So he had, I think, like 12 employees. He was paying them all off of YouTube advertising, and he goes in, and the money's just not gonna come anymore because of YouTube and their left-wing agenda, whatever. And it's like,
wow,
that's crazy.
yeah. So yeah, I'm all for any kind of decentralization we can get, and
that's part of why I'm doing Indie Focused. Was Patreon doing that to other people that I knew?
Same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so look right here. Your Ninja is 10,000 coins.
Okay.
That's what I'm basically trying to say. So you buy 7,800 coins for $100. You're still underneath. You still don't. Make that. Like let's say $100 extra 10,000 coins. That you're like, okay, now that makes sense. But the fact that it's under, I guess. You don't get that many coins for a Ninja, which is 10,000. I don't know.
Because you're trying to correlate 1 coin to 1 penny, but it's not.
Something like that.
So 1 penny is approximately 0.78. Is that what you said? How much is it? How much does it cost to buy?
So, $108 for 7,800 coins.
Yeah, it's just a little weird. It's just a little wonky, but it's, the value per is the value per. So you're not going to, if you give me 10,000, then 108 is 100. I don't know. I can't do the math. It's just not, it's not. And the value of the coins over time may fluctuate. So,
right.
That's the nature of cryptocurrency. Unless the cryptocurrency is only available and only tradable on D Live, and at that point it's not even really a cryptocurrency. It's just a token for this particular, just like Roblox has Robux.
Right. I got you to say the in-game currency, basically.
Yeah, in-game. That's a good way to think of it. It's in-game tokens. So you buy these tokens, you donate these tokens, whatever the value is the value.
Right.
Whether it's one is worth half a penny or one is worth 2 pennies, it's still one.
I'll tell you this though, the D Live has a better streaming from what I can see.
And they have unlimited notifications.
That's cool.
So
It's cool, man. So what are you working on, Mike? I see you there constantly drawing.
I am working on page 24 of Lone Star number 2.
Already?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's cool, man. I'm pushing straight through that.
You working on an order, Mike?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't understand these people that work on books out of order. Art.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that.
Ooh.
I mean, why
It's
would you
more
do that? Don't you want the story to unfold while you're drawing it?
No, that's why I wrote it. I guess Mike's writing it as he's drawing it.
No, I wrote it already.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's
No, I
written.
like doing stuff like that, like stream of consciousness. Mike's Mobius, and he's doing Airtight Garage right now.
I don't even know what you just said.
Mobius, you know the artist, the French artist?
Yeah.
Okay. He drew a series, and it was called Airtight Garage.
Oh, really?
Educate yourself, Mike. And it was a stream of consciousness book. So he just kind of made stuff up as he went along. What is that? Is that a smoothie, Amanda?
It is. I made you a smoothie.
Hell yeah.
Ooh la la.
I got a smoothie
Really nice.
Art is a lucky man.
with a piece of pineapple in it.
Oh man.
Mixed berry with pineapple.
Wow, somebody loves me.
Who?
Now I'm just trying to brag you into going to that Thai place tonight.
We're not having Thai tonight.
Why aren't you having Thai tonight?
Oh come on, Dad. Give me
I
some
like
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Thai is amazing.
Hey, Mandy.
Go to your room.
Go to your room. Good old.
I don't think I ever tried Thai.
What?
Critius, did you say you've never had Thai?
You
No.
guys going?
I just wanted to agree with her, but I was like, I never had Thai.
Oh, okay.
I wish I did though. I'm not a fan of. Is it like curry type food, like curry based food?
Well,
It can be. Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
a fan of
it's,
curry.
out of all the Asian food, it's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to try it then.
It's spicy.
Get some chicken pad thai to start. I like pad thai.
Yeah, and don't get the spicy, just get the kind of mild and start from there. It's really good, Critius. You'll like it.
All right, I'll give it a try. My wife wanted to go to one that's around our way. I was like, oh, I don't know. Let's go chicken fillet instead.
I always forget. Are you in New York or are you Florida?
I'm in Florida. I moved from New York to Florida.
Okay.
What part of Florida?
Beverly Hills,
Okay.
Citrus County.
Yeah, right on. I'm Nassau County.
That's like what, like an hour, 40 minutes from here, or?
Yeah, man. You just come up, come fishing. We'll barbecue some meat.
Some gator.
You want some gator, man? We can have gator ribs. What do you want to do?
I like gator.
Yeah, I ate
You
some.
really
I ate
have
some
gator ribs?
They're delicious.
I would love that.
Gator
Hey,
tastes
man,
pretty good.
fly
Man.
out here.
I love eating animals that scare the shit out of me.
Hey, language. Jeez.
Yeah. Come
Well,
on
in
out.
that
Put it in
case,
a square jar, Mike.
well, in that case, I just killed a snake the other day.
I'll eat it. Hell yeah.
He already buried it.
Oh,
We
man.
had a king snake in the garage a couple days ago.
What did you do with it?
We just threw it outside. Just grabbed it and threw it out.
All right, so when you grab it by the tail and whip it, or you grab it by the neck? I mean, how do you go about it?
You just grab it wherever you can grab it. And you get rid of it as quickly as you can, before it bites you.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine getting bit by one of those things.
Alligators scare the crap out of me, though, Ben. I'm
Everybody
not kidding.
scares the crap
Have you
out of
seen me in the Have you seen me in the gator pit with the 800-pound gator Handsome?
That was you? I saw the picture. I didn't know that was you.
That was me, homie. Yeah, I go up, and so in St. Augustine, there's a big gator park, and you can go in the pits, you can play with them, if you're so bold. But I'll tell you, one time there's a parachute. There's like a jumping, kind of a parachute area around. Somebody got blown off course and went into the gator pit I go into at night. Yeah, that was bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I told you, Ben, it was off air, but what was it, Miami Lakes, and so I'm visiting a friend of mine. This is when I was probably around 14, 15 years old, and
Right.
so it's beautiful there. I mean, the reason I like Florida is it's always so green and the sky's blue. out here in California, it's pretty much gray and brown. I mean, it depends on the day, but you know, like springtime right now, it's pretty colorful. But you know, I'm like, this place is gorgeous, and you know, his parents had a townhouse right on the lake. You know, people have these little boats and stuff, and there's a golf course right next to it. I mean, it's like high-end living. And then so we're just walking down the street, and I'm like, so these lakes, I go, you guys go swimming in the lakes? You guys hang out? This is awesome. And he's like, hell no. I go, why wouldn't you go in there? It's beautiful. He said, there are alligators in there. And I'm like, what? And so then as we were walking a little bit further, there's a golf course right next to his house. And I see probably like a 10, 12-foot alligator just walking, you know, along the grass there. I was like, holy crap.
Did he say hi? Because you know, everybody here is so friendly. Hey, how's
No,
it going?
let's not even play like that, Critias. It scares the crap out of me.
You know, that's why most Floridians, well, that's not really why, but that's part of why I carry every day. I carry a weapon every day for snakes and moccasins, and if a gator comes out, I have a pond here, a half-acre pond. So if a gator finds its way in there, then I got to take it out.
Well, you get the water moccasins, and that would scare the crap out of me. Sometimes we'll get like a rattler that'll drop into the pool because they have like a little cement on here at the house.
Right.
And so sometimes they'll fall in. And I'll tell you, those things can move really fast.
Ogres, man. You know, you run in a zigzag pattern, you'll get away from the gator. You know, if you have a big axe come right on the top of the head, you'll get away from the gator. You know, but those rattlers, water moccasins, those are no joke. I'm more scared of them.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't see them. They just look like a stick or something.
Right.
Until they're latched onto your leg.
Yeah,
They'll just bite you and kill you.
With a quickness.
Did you ever see the snakes eating like alligators and deers and all that stuff?
Yes. Have you seen the big anaconda down in the Everglades near us, man?
No.
10 feet. People have been get the pythons, and people have been buying them as pets for so long, since the 70s and 80s, and then release them into the Everglades, that there's a new huge thriving community.
Oh,
Dogs and kids, and it's nasty, man. You got to take them out.
That's lovely.
Wow.
Well, now I'm gonna have nightmares. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Come on down, man. It's still fun.
We'll mail you one in the mail. Expect one. UPS.
Well, I would love just hanging out with Ben. You know, we're just walking around, just BS and beer in our hand. We're both like packing. We see an alligator, just bam, bam,
bam. Right, snake, bam.
And then Ben's like, barbecue tonight.
Darn straight. And you know, the hogs down here,
have you
man.
ever butchered a gator yourself?
I have not butchered a gator myself. No, I have not. Many deers for sure, but not a gator. Because it's hard really to butcher them down here. You know, you think there's but you need to get a license and you need the whole thing. Most gators, when I go out like fishing and stuff, they don't mess with you.
Well, in Miami Lakes, there were signs and they said, like, don't kill the alligators. Like, there's a fine and stuff. I'm like, if I see an alligator, I'm going to kill it.
If a gator is coming at me, I will kill it. If it's coming at me or my kids with a quickness, it's gone. But honestly, they eat so much fish and rabbits and things, you know, it's rare that they really do attack a human.
Right.
Well, if I see a rattlesnake on my property, I kill it.
Well, yeah, I would too.
Yeah. And I see that we usually have at least 5 to 7 snakes of different types. So we have the what are the fast ones that are black? The racers. And they're non-venomous, so they're fine. We get the king snakes, and then we get the rattlesnakes, and they're pretty easy to identify, you know, between.
Sure.
But the rattlesnakes. The only thing that gives me confidence is they're kind of slow in comparison to some of the other snakes.
Their strike is quick, man. So I would recommend a Taurus. If you look up a gun, a Taurus Judge, it has a Colt 45 and a 410, which is a shotgun round, little bullets, you know, that comes out of it, because you're not going to be able to aim that way. You know, people think they're my favorite when I was a officer was people saying, well, why don't people shoot people's hands? Why don't officers shoot people's hands? I'm like, what kind of sure shot Deadpool, what are you talking about? But with a 410 judge, it's a scatter shot. So no matter what, you're going to hit that snake.
That's what I'd have to get, because there's no way I'm sure shot T-Bear out here.
Right. Well, me either, man. I was a marksman in the Army, but if you're not doing that, it's hard to hit a snake.
Hey,
well, the target is like 1 inch, 1 inch by 1 inch.
I got a super chat here, guys, if you stop. Liam Gray says, I want a video where you kill a gator and barbecue it.
Okay. I think I could work that out, actually.
Could you?
I love that, actually, because there is a twisted part of me that would just like to kill an alligator.
I watched a video on YouTube. They have a video of a guy butchering an alligator. I mean, legitimately taking the skin off and then quartering it and taking all the parts and.
I've seen whole gator cooked, like a baby gator, like a 4-footer. They take the skin off, and the gator skin's expensive. If you actually get a tag, quote unquote, for it, where you can go hunting, you can sell the gator skins for thousands. That's why there's that show, down in the bayou of gator hunters and stuff. But they take the skin off and they season it and they wrap it with bacon and smoke it for like 12 hours. Good food, man.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, delicious.
Before it was illegal, they used to have shark, like you could get thresher and the different types of shark at restaurants, at seafood restaurants.
You can still get
and
thresher.
I used to
down
really
here.
like to eat.
You can get thresher down
sharks.
Here. There's a place right
you
by
can still get really.
Yeah, in Hillcrest, right by my daughter's acting class.
Wow, I'm coming down. That's my favorite dish.
Dude, it was like, I don't know.
I hear you,
it was
man.
the way
I
they
eat
cooked it. It was just super dry and kind of tasteless to me.
Well, it's kind of tuna. It flakes. I think it tastes like steak, but it flakes like tuna.
That's cool.
Maybe I just like it because it's the idea of eating it.
I'm not really a fan of fish. The only thing I eat is like a whiting. Fish and chips.
Liam says he wants Comics Gate to eat all the predators.
That's the plan.
Yeah, right.
That's always been the plan. Let me see.
Where do you guys see yourself now? From like 2 years from now, or at least next year?
We still be here. Convention.
I'll still be right here, Crid.
Yeah, I think YouTube is where it's at right now. Oh, and not YouTube in general, not just YouTube specifically, but I mean like streaming is where it's at, I think.
I'll be here. I'll be, hopefully D Live will continue to grow as a platform. If Twitch maintains, because, I don't know. I'll probably still be here.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
Unless you get banned, Mike.
Swedish fish.
Yeah, I'm pretty realistic, Critius. As long as I can make enough money to pay the bills and stay away from Marvel and DC, and still have a dream of being able to create your own properties and doing whatever the heck you want with them. That's the main attraction for me. So go out and support Black and White. And if you haven't subbed me on YouTube yet, please do.
Yeah,
totally. Investors are coming, guys. I hear from people I know, people are calling me more saying, hey, how can I get in on the next MCU or a new cool movie or property?
Oh my gosh, darn it. That was a freaking story I had intended to do. Let me see if I can find it. Did you hear about, what the heck was his name? Murdoch. All right.
Matt Murdoch?
Let me find it. David Murdoch. Let me see if I can find the story. David Murdoch comics. This is, Rupert Murdoch's kid. I think it's David Murdoch. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Oh, maybe it wasn't David. How do you spell Murdoch? Like Rupert Murdoch. M-O-M...
Murdoch?
M-U-R-D-O-C-K?
C-K, not C-H?
No.
Matt
Murdock.
Murdock. Real income. Dang it! I had this freaking article.
He wants to fight you?
All right, I forget the article. So one of these, one of Rupert Murdoch's sons, the more liberal one, is going to be investing $5 million in a comic book company because he sees comics, you know, the whole what you're talking about, right? Investment opportunities. And it's the money he got from the sale of Fox to Disney.
Uh-huh.
So he sells his comic book franchise so he can buy another?
Well, cool. Yeah. That's the funny thing is that Rupert Murdoch and their other son, I can't remember his name, were actually against the sale, and they were trying to buy that other guy, Dave. I think it's David Murdoch out from. Maybe it's James Murdoch. It's Dockch. Why don't you ask mommy?
I think it's spelled different ways. That's what it is.
Murdoch comic company. I think he was going to call it AMA. Here we go. It's in the Wall Street Journal, but let me go to the Biz Journals because I don't have an Wall Street Journal account.
Yeah, I hate that.
If it could just open. All right, let me see if I can share this screen to window capture. Put that above the Hangout. All right. So James Murdoch to invest millions into comic books. James Murdoch is living every boy's dream. He's spending millions of dollars on comic books. Murdoch, the younger son of Rupert Murdoch, will invest $5 million in comic publisher. That doesn't even make sense. In artists, writers, and artisans, AWA, per the Wall Street Journal. AWA is the venture-backed publisher of comic books led by Bill Hamos, the former publisher and chief operating officer for Marvel Enterprises. The value of storytelling is only going up, and AWA is uniquely positioned to create a tremendous platform for writers and artists, Murdoch said, per the report. AWA was founded in 2018 with the intent of mimicking Marvel's success in creating characters that can be licensed across movies, video games, and toys. Murdoch did not join Disney after 21st Century Fox, where he served as CEO, was acquired for $71.3 billion. This is badly written. He earned $2.2 billion from the sale and is reportedly leaving media to start a venture capital fund to invest in digital and international media businesses. Per the Journal, Murdoch could spend up to $1 billion on entertainment assets via a holding company, Lupa Systems. Blah, 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 blah. Also joining the board are Ann Diaz, founder of and CEO of Aragon Global Holdings, an investment fund, blah, 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 and Roland Hernandez, former chairman and CEO of Telemundo Group, and founding principal CEO of Hernandez, yada, yada, yada.
Did you read the last part?
The last part? The new board members joined previously announced CEO, co-chairman Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan, who serves as chairman and CEO of the new entity, as well as Jacques Nasser.
Nasser's involved.
Freaking
always.
Nasser.
You should have been nicer to Nasser, Mike.
Yeah.
He's going to be running a show one day, man. You know, he's young.
So what do you think that means, Mike? With the article, do you think it was
I
opportunity
think it
for a lot
means
of...
if anybody who's interested in actually, wait, let me bring that. Anybody who's interested in investing in comics, yeah, comics is the seed medium for the media.
Right.
It's not going to end with Marvel imploding.
Right.
Well, here's what I know a little. You know, I can't name names, but I will share this: that there are tons of these little creative groups in Hollywood. They have money, and you know, they have different investors and people always looking for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're constantly reviewing Indiegogo, Kickstarter, you know, YouTube, everything for new intellectual properties to either pitch to the big streaming services or to, you know, try to develop themselves through the newer streaming services like Disney and so forth. But it's real, keep creating, everyone. Now's the time.
Well, I got a meeting with Donald DeLine, the producer, based on my Chrono Mechanics Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I put that out there, and I got a meeting, on the Warner's lot with Donald DeLine's production company. Yeah, so it does happen.
Nice.
We've had people calling us, which is pretty cool. There's no, I don't get excited till I see numbers in my bank account, but we'll see.
It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't ever trust any of that. Donut Swan said, "I just want to say hi to Art. It's wild that he inked. Oops, sorry. It's wild that he inked some of my favorite covers from childhood, namely X-Men number 6 and X-Men number 11."
Ooh, cool.
All right.
Nice, Donut Swan. Thank you for the super chat.
All right.
If in case you don't know, Art has his own channel. It's called.
It's just my name, yeah.
Just Art.
So please go check it out. Stub. I'm gonna go live tomorrow and do some drawing.
Drawings.
I'm gonna do some drawings. I'm getting down to the end of the book and I can't really show as much.
Yeah.
They're all spoiler alerts.
Yeah, I'm not on a spoiler page right now, but I don't really want to move my camera. So lazy,
Hey, Mike,
right?
where'd you get the T-shirt? Did Pixel send those? Who sent the Indicron?
Yeah, he sent it.
I need to give me
actually,
one.
I think Jean-Luc might have sent it. I don't remember. But we don't talk about that. What's up?
You guys gonna come on Indie Focus and pitch some indie stuff and talk to some indie filmmakers and indie bands?
Is Indie Focus up right now, Ben?
Now, give me another 30 days. I mean, it's going to be crowdfunding. It's going to be Patreon. It's going to be printing services, storage services, consulting services. So if you both want to sell your services on a central website, for creatives, you can do that. But yeah, give me another 30 days because I want to make it rock solid.
Yeah, from what you pitched to me, it sounds like a pretty cool deal there.
And then you'll be able to do your own videos. It's not just what our group, so we have a panel that's going to be voting on the projects we want to get behind as a platform, but yeah, the Indiegogo stuff, the Indiegogo type functionality, the Patreon functionality will be open to everybody. The spotlight functionality will be who our board of creators really vote for and want to get behind. But yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to bring people with resources together with people that are creative that don't know how to access those resources.
Donut Swan threw another $5 at me. He said, "Sorry, Mike. Hi to you and the legendary panel as well." Oh, you don't have to apologize. No, I was just saying, in case you didn't know Art had a channel, then please sub to him. Trust me, you don't have to apologize for sending me super chats. And you can say whatever you want as long as it's not dirty.
And that's why I don't send you super chats, Mike.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, so far, Art's the only one who's sworn on here. Jeez.
Ooh.
You said frickin'.
He's a potty mouth, this guy.
Ooh.
You know what frickin' means, Mike?
What?
It's a technicality. Oh, you want me to say it? I'll say it.
No, what? Huh?
It's like a challenge.
Art, jeez. Relax.
It's the F word, Mike. It's the F word. You say it all the time.
It's a challenge for me not to say it. I'll be honest.
I challenge you to say it.
No.
I'm in Mike's house.
Terrible. I think he was challenging me.
Oh.
Super chat, Mike. Drop the F-bomb.
No. Sorry.
How much would that cost, Mike?
No.
Let's be honest.
I would.
$100.
No.
$1,000.
Nope.
10 grand.
10 grand. Yeah, right.
What if some dude I knew wanted 10 grand if you had to say that on the live?
Nope.
Mike's thinking about that.
Good for you, buddy. I have a lot of stuff like that too. I'm like, there's no amount of money.
Oh, just advice whenever they do those hypotheticals, like who would you rather like sleep with, and then they say two horrible lesbians, and then the answer is always like, I wouldn't do any of that. You know what I mean? Because it's never going to happen. They go, I'll give you $1 million if you eat a piece of poop. It's like, no, you don't have $1 million. You know, like, no, I would never do that. So,
I
you guys,
would
never...
for $1 million. I don't know, man. I grew up poor. You know, for me.
No. But it's a hypothetical. If they actually had the $1 million, it would be different. But you know, like you know how guys talk and they go, "Would you do this for whatever? Would you do that?" And the thing is, just always say, "No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it." Yeah.
But would you?
If they had $1 million there, then that's different.
Yeah, but
exactly.
But would you? If there was $1 million there, would you?
I see what you're doing there, Mike. No, I wouldn't. If you waved $1 million right now, Mike, and I could see you, I'd go, well, maybe. That'd be so awesome if Mike just whips out $1 million out of his drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
secretly
be great.
A millionaire.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't offer it to anybody.
Well, because you know I would say no.
Yeah.
I did offer somebody 10,000 once to get my face tattooed on their back, their whole back, but they didn't take me up on it.
Your face?
Yeah, just for kicks. I don't know why. We were. He was really bugging. You know, he really. I don't know. He wanted my. I said for 10 grand, I'll do it, but you have to tattoo my whole head on your back.
That's weird.
He wanted a car. I thought it'd be funny.
That is weird.
But I was much younger.
Did you have the 10 grand on you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had. Well, you know, I was a internet.com kid back in the 90s and early 2000s. So you know, I did a lot of dumb stuff.
So are you paying attention to cryptocurrency, blockchain?
I do. Ripple's my favorite. I think right now. You know, Bitcoin's good.
Dude, Bitcoin,
you know, if you get
Bitcoin just went up 5,600 today.
Isn't that amazing, man? I mean, I think cryptocurrency is going to be the way of the future. Yep. You know, I think we're going to be paying our utilities, and then we can pay back, right? So there's a system now. If I put all, you know, solar panels around my property, I can make cryptocurrency off of it, just leasing out my land.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yep. For solar power.
Wow.
It's the future, man. I think, you know, so imagine now we have all these coins, right? And I want to get to the airport, you know, so I just pay a coin and Tesla's robot car will come to my property, pick me up and take me to the airport. Then I have Bitcoins. I pay for my flight. It's amazing. Have you all been looking at the Clear system, the biometric system at the airports?
Oh, I saw it. I didn't.
It's happening, man. It's happening. So you'll get scanned in the eye or your thumbprint or something. You'll go right through to the airport. But biometrics are going to take off.
Blockchain based. That's blockchain?
Well, it's tied to blockchain. So anything can be tied to blockchain. Anything. You know, it's just how you apply the blockchain.
Justin, if you want to reword that in a way, I can't allow that. But go ahead and reword that. He was saying that Ripple is a corporate coin, and it is. But you know what? It serves its particular purpose. The purpose is for banking. So it's not decentralized to the point that most other cryptocurrencies are. But
imagine the money you can make from replacing the banking SWIFT, SWIFT, the SWIFT system. Right?
Yeah.
You can replace that. You're loaded, man. Yep. You know, if you can play with crypto like that.
Did you know that XRP is actually designed to be worth $10,000 per coin?
I did. That's why I got a long time ago. I've been doing this for a while, my brother. Can I tell you, I had 26 crypto coins and I sold them for $100. 26 Bitcoins and I sold them for $100 a piece back in the day.
My buddy started buying Bitcoin when they were $34 each. And he bought his first $1,000 worth at $34 each. And he just kept accumulating all the way until it hit. His value was $88 million in Bitcoin.
Good for him.
And then
good for him.
He cashed out.
Smart.
Yeah. But he cashed out. He started going down and he cashed out. So I think he probably ended up with like 60 million or something. But Wah,
Still though, man.
right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean,
Actually, he lives in Florida too.
I'll tell you, I had a buddy of mine back in the 98 called me. He said, bro, he said, we need you to leave your current company. You're a specialist in this industry. We need you to do this for this new company. And I said, what's the name of the company? And they said, my buddy said, you'll get 10,000 shares of stock and it's Google. And I said, what's a Google, man? I work for this company and that, you know, and he said, it's a search engine. And I said, well, you know, like Yahoo or XG or something, like what's the big deal?
Yeah.
And I turned it down.
You're like, screw that. I use Alta Vista.
Yes, sir. Ask Jeeves. Yeah. And I turned it down. But, you know, you never know. You never know what the world's going to spin as, you know?
I know. That's why I wonder which blockchain services are going to be Amazon and Google in 10 years, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I
You know,
think
it's hard to
XRP.
guess.
I think XRP's a good bet. I actually have a lot in Pundi X. I don't know if you.
Nice. I have been following that.
Yeah, dude, I have like 1.4 million in, not in Pundi, 1.4 million Pundi, which doesn't sound like that much, but I mean, it sounds like more than it is. But
imagine it goes up to $1 though. You know.
I know.
Yeah, I'm spreading a lot around, man. I've spread, you know, I actually sold a lot of my rare, you know, I had different collections, and I'll tell you, my gun collection, my collectibles collection has done nothing but gone up in value. You know, my kids are, you know, that I talk to, my nieces and nephew, about building wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you should always invest, but I've made good money off of art, collectibles, you know, rare guns, you know, and definitely property. You know, property, land, you know, it's definitely a safe, you know, you don't want to speculate, but, you know, and then the other thing I tell them is, you know, start businesses. You know, I have a tree service, I have publishing company, I have a comic book company, I have a record company, you know, lots of little businesses will add up as long as you have multiple streams of income.
Yeah. Yep. If you've got the bandwidth for it.
Well, you just start it, then you hire people, man. You know, you don't have to have the bandwidth.
Well, you need the bandwidth to start it.
Yeah, you know, you kick off the idea, you know, that's what I do, is kind of kick off the idea, incorporate it, bring in the team, and then let them run it.
Yeah, Justin McClure said he sold most of his ether at peak and made good money. You know what? I never sold.
Good for you,
bro. I started moving all of my ether into altcoins back then. I picked up some more during this dip. Not at the bottom, which would have been great to know, but, you know. You pick it up as it's going down. You pick it up as it's coming up, and I'm in it for the long haul, man. I really believe this is the technology of the next century. So,
I have a question. How do you cash out on Bitcoin?
Go to an exchange. So you need to sign up with your bank account to an exchange, and then you sell your coins to the exchange, and then they transfer money back to your bank account.
Yeah, the easiest way is just using Coinbase. Coinbase will go right to your bank account.
That's correct. Right.
So then banks will recognize this as actual currency, and then they'll deposit it in the form of dollars into your account?
Yeah.
Coinbase does the transfer from whatever currency to dollars or Deutschmarks or pounds, and then it gets transferred to whatever bank from there.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to jump out to go eat something, all right?
All right, great. Take it easy, bro.
Later, everybody.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
you too, have a great night.
Art, have you ever had to send money to someone out of the country?
Oh yeah, like Western Union type stuff.
Yeah, and how much did it cost you to send them money?
It's expensive, yeah.
Right. I sent $2,000 worth of Litecoin to my niece in Germany, and it took like a few minutes, 4 minutes maybe. Cost 18 cents.
Right.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
And imagine this. So, you know, you can ask for anything. So I'm trying to think local. If you go to farmbot.io, it's a farming robot, right? It sounds funny, but it's farming robot. It fits 10-foot by 10-foot plots. So I have 3 of them, right? And people are buying fruits and vegetables and so forth. So it's a matter of trading services through Bitcoin or through blockchain. So let's say I need somebody to clear out 3 trees on my property, right? They have their own service. They'll clear out the trees. They owe me, or they owe into the system. I can cash back into the system to get another service, or they can cash in to buy my tomatoes. But it's all services. We don't need a central bank.
It's ultimately going back to the barter system, but we're using our own currency instead of you're creating currency by offering a service or by producing a service, and then you're just trading, time for time. It's as old as time. Liam Gray says
dollars aren't going to change hands and stuff like that.
Not necessarily if we agree on the value of the currency that we're discussing, like Bitcoin.
Art, how often do you use PayPal?
A lot.
How often do you actually see any money from PayPal?
No, I'm not arguing with you, Mike. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain to you. We already use almost exclusively digital currency now. It's just that we use a digital fiat currency called the US dollar.
Right, and then you use your plastic, and dollars never change hands.
That's right. Liam Gray for $10 says, "This is going to sound Alex Jones, but I legitimately believe people are trying to rob the upcoming generation of ownership and make them permanent renters and subscription slaves living in little boxes."
Oh my gosh, I've thought the same thing.
Oh, really?
I have.
Oh, crap.
Because you're in California.
Let me check something real quick.
They're not really building homes. They're just kind of building condos, and they're building these big complexes where there's shopping areas and everything right then in the same area. And I thought, wow, kids today aren't going to really have property, especially in Southern California.
Well, I make sure that's a very big, important focus for mine. That after you get out of college, you don't rent, you buy a property.
Yeah.
And
in Florida, property is actually more affordable.
Crazy affordable. So is Tennessee, certain areas. Yeah, I'm trying to get them to focus on going to college in those areas, so it's natural for them to relocate to those areas.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, they got to buy property. And I told them, I said, you don't need to go to a bank. You don't need to go anywhere. I will help you. I will buy your property. You pay me, quote unquote, back. You don't pay an interest rate. And then we put it into a family fund, that kind of thing.
So, Ben, can I join your family?
Yes, you can. Maybe. I got a couple of cousins, man. Are you married, though?
Yeah, just inherit, my whole family here.
Sure, man, sure. But I think education's going to come down in price. Like me and Mike, we were just talking about earlier. I had asked Mike about how long would it take. My daughter is interested in a artistic career, so I said, how long would it take to go to college or whatever? And even Mike said, go on to Udemy, Treehouse, take those drawing classes and practice. Same thing with coding, man. When kids come to me and they say, I want to be a super hacker. Well, go learn math and study and do it. Right?
Yeah.
Those who can do, those who can't teach.
Yeah.
I know
trade school. You make a lot of money off of a good trade. Electrician, a plumber, right. You make good cash.
Be a plumber in New York City.
Woo! I'm telling you, we made a lot of money off of tree services, and it's because a lot of men today are afraid of chainsaws.
David Peterson in the chat says, "I'm okay with marrying into wealth if the offer is still open." I've actually I've sent David Peterson a white paper on my own comic coin that I wrote last year. He's also a programmer. So
did David just propose to me? Was that?
I think he was proposing to Ben.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to be a transformational technology for the future, for
Absolutely.
sure. Crypto, yeah, for sure.
Well,
blockchain.
Blockchain, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Well, yeah, and even the freaking IMF last week said that they had they were developing their own cryptocurrency to test it, to sort of experiment with it, right? The IMF, who you
isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I'm like, jeez.
Well, it's like the internet. You just can't stop the technology. I remember years and years ago, I was trying to go around and I told people about the inherent vulnerabilities within voice over IP, right, where you can communicate through the phone. And I'm like, I can listen to everything you're talking about. Let me show you how. And I would go around to businesses and make good money as a consultant and show them how to do that. But this kind of technology, because it's inherently encrypted, is amazing because it's already secure.
Yep, it's very secure, very secure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk more crypto, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Do you have
for
questions,
sure.
Art?
I don't have any miners. I don't have the money. Here's why: even though I generate my own power, I don't generate enough power to run the miners. So I just never really got into it, man. I just trade.
Yeah. Well, it's also probably a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I tried running it on. I tried running a miner on. Gosh, I think this system or this other computer, and it just freaking superheated the thing so bad because it was processing so fast. I was like,
do you know where the best miners? I'll give you a tip. Just between you and me. Don't tell anybody else. Okay, but where I buy my miners is in Iceland, because they use geothermal energy and it's the cheapest. Plus, they stay cold. It's in a ice-laden data center.
Yeah.
It keeps all the equipment cold. You get better rate of return than anywhere else on the planet.
Right. Yeah, I was using hash flare, but I don't think the rate of return was very good.
No, they're not. No.
It's nice talking to somebody who actually knows this stuff.
Yeah. I just leave it running now, man. But let your money make your money for you. And
yeah. Art, you got any questions about cryptocurrency?
Nope. I like the mining idea, though. Mine for it. Pretty...
Well, it makes it a limited supply. It's almost like getting back to the gold standard.
Yeah.
You can't have just any weird, central bank saying, now I'm printing $1 trillion.
Yeah.
It's tied to something, which makes it more real.
And have value in the long run.
Yeah, my my wife was, we were talking about this yesterday, because, I have a lot invested in, and then it went down.
Yeah.
I started investing before it blew up, but then, I kept investing. So ultimately it went, my total market value is down, but I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not taking it out. I'm leaving it in for, this is the future. And she's like, well, what if something happens? I'm like, the entire world internet would have to go to, right? You'd have to have like a global EMP to take down a blockchain that is, because any given node has all the information, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Right. Everybody has that information.
Right. So I'm like, if all of the power in the world goes out, we've got bigger problems than where my investment went.
Right.
I'm like, at that point, I need to have been well invested in bullets.
Right. I'm with you.
Yeah. Bullets and Bitcoin, man. It's the future.
And tangible assets. I talk to my kids about appreciating assets, rare items, collectibles, land, property. Anything that goes up in value, and avoid things that go down in value. What I drive? No. I drive a 2002 Chevy Avalanche.
Well, you saw what I drove.
Hey, man, that's smart. I'm not going to spend my money on stupidness. I'm going to invest it.
That's right. Liam says, if something happens, we will cover you. But if you become a multi-billionaire, remember your friends.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, we'd make. Can you imagine what we'd all create? There'd be animated movies of all of our stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Well, I like one of the ideas that you have. I don't know if you pitched it, Ben, and I don't know. I hope I'm not spilling the beans here, but that you had with your business idea where you have a Shark Tank kind of idea. Have you mentioned that to anybody?
That's kind of what Indie Focus is going to be. So I'm bringing investors to bear, people that are coming. I'm really good. I like connecting people, from all my different versions of my life, and I'm going to bring in certain investors that are like, man, what should I get into? Man, I don't want to buy this sports car. I got another 50 grand. And what should I do? This or that. Well, how about you try to kick off another amazing intellectual property, a new story, that are coming out of these creatives right now. And I can introduce you to Art T. Bear, right? I can introduce you to Mike Miller. I can introduce you to whoever. So, and it's not just like my friends investing in me. It's, hey, here's a website. Go through the stories you dig. Some people like my stories. Some people don't. Some people like everybody. Some people don't. It's whatever you like, and you get the chance to invest in it. Very much, kind of like Indiegogo does, but you have an option on a more personal level, to pitch that idea, so you don't have to go through crowdfunding. If you already have your own money, maybe they would want to get somebody like you guys to review their, a paid art portfolio. Or a movie producer that's famous in Hollywood, or a music producer that's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you can get that person's attention, if you can get enough fanfare, right, you're well on your way to creating something that has a mass appeal. Which I think, is what most people want. I know that there's a lot of indies that just want to stay indie. It's groovy. I do too, in a way. But Indie Focus is going to be a way to let cream rise to the top.
You know what you should do is accept crypto.
Sure, I'll accept crypto. Absolutely, you can trade crypto. So imagine somebody could send you half a Bitcoin, Mike, and you spend an afternoon giving them a portfolio review or some ideas on their cover.
I'll take it.
Right? I would. And,
so
and
what,
I've heard
okay,
that over and over.
If you were going to limit what crypto you accepted on Indie Focus, what would they be?
I don't think I'm going to. I'll go through Coinbase. But definitely, I'll take Litecoin, I'll take Bitcoin, I'll take Ripple, I'll take pretty much anything on Coinbase.
Why does anyone invest in Litecoin?
Because it's on Coinbase.
I know, but it doesn't. It's.
I'm with you. But I can trade. I can
with 4 hours of extra programming.
I know.
Literally.
Do you know how easy it would be to make my own crypto? But there's a lot of it has gone kind of, well, not a lot, but there's been some that have gone south with the SEC, man, and I wasn't getting mixed up in any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the fly-by-night cryptocurrency guys that got busted by the SEC. That's not. Not
who are you talking about?
Some of the earlier crypto coins that got looked at, that kind of tried to just do an IPO or initial coin offering.
Oh,
and
the
then
scams, the scammers.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, the scammers. And that's why I was like, people ask me, they're like, man, can you make a blockchain wallet for me? I'm like, well, it's easy. You download it from, the website, you modify it, and that's it. But never got involved with it because of that. I just invest. But yeah, man, it's a smart way to invest right now. It's taken off.
I think so too. Yeah, I do you have any Verge? I bowed out of that when they got hooked up with Pornhub.
I think I still have Verge. I have not sold in a while anything. I'm just letting it ride.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of figured it would be a good thing for the coin, but I'm like, no, not mine.
No, I got you.
Not my cup of tea, yo.
Right. I'm with you. There's a couple currencies I'll send you. I do a lot on the dark web, which is, or at least a lot of research, one of my main business. And yeah, man, I mean, they use a lot of different kind of cryptos that I don't align myself with just because it's so much into the, the dark web.
Yeah. I actually just saw a couple new ones. I listened to Chico Crypto a lot, and he had a couple. He pointed out a couple on yesterday's show. And have you heard of Centivate?
No, I never had.
It's a hybrid web built to be a viable and realistic replacement for the modern web, faster, safer, and more scalable than any solely centralized or decentralized web. Because you can't have, ultimately, you can't replace the internet with blockchain because it'd be too slow.
Right.
Right. So this is like a hybridization of blockchain and whatever, HTTP is it? No, I don't know. You'd know. But internet technologies and blockchain, and it seems. I was like, I might need to look into that.
Yeah. It's a good thing to focus on right now.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else going on today, guys?
It's work.
No.
We're Hey, I got some more. Got a couple more followers on DLive. Thank you, guys.
Nice.
Brad Beer Hunter and Dabba Cannabis 420. I wonder what they're into.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Not comic books.
Why not?
Or very much into comic books.
Ooh.
What's wrong with comics?
They're rolling them and smoking them.
Exactly. I love them too. I love them.
Liam says, Ben reminded me I have a 17-year-old prodigy artist. I would be willing to send you some dollars if you reviewed our Xeno pages and pointed out mistakes. We can talk about that later.
I hear all the time. You know, music, film, art, writing, fine art, fashion. You know, my niece is into fashion. Yeah, I want a clearinghouse to connect people with people.
Yeah. David Peterson says, from a programmer's perspective, I hate working with the web. It's designed around documents, not web applications. Well, here, I'm going to put the URL for that site, David. Check it out and tell me what you think. This is the Centivate.com site. Check that out. Then, yeah, we do need to talk about Comic Coin. It's funny because my whole Comic Coin thing is like when I saw how DLive actually works, I'm like, you know, that's actually very similar to the way I had designed my white paper for Comic Coin.
Right.
I don't want to step on David's feet, but if he's interested, would you be interested in getting in on that?
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know we've already have this relationship. Comic Coin. # Comic Coin. Yeah. All right. Yeah, man, we're going to build the future. The future.
It's happening. You know, I keep telling everybody when they talk to me about their project, carpe diem. You know, get it written, get it done.
Absolutely.
Do it now.
I am, man. I'm on page 24. Shush.
Me too, man. I'm gonna write some more after we log off here.
I'm taking your advice, Ben. I'm working right now.
Good man. Good man.
Never stop. I always say the key to never stopping.
Don't stop working.
One of my tattoos I'm getting next is going to be the Elvis taking care of business. TCB lightning bolt.
You gonna get it on your forehead?
I might. You never know. You never know in the evening.
For $10,000, he will.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Well, Victor the Ripper says, "What's so good about DLive?" Ben, have you checked out DLive at all?
You know, a little bit, but I think the main issue, the main benefit, is that it's decentralized.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a.
That's what the D's for.
Exactly. It's kind of like LimeWire in a way, you know. So it's not controlled by, you know, any corporation. We can put out there what we want. We can like what we want. So I'll, you know, if I ever get the gumption to make my own channel, I'll definitely be doing something there.
Yep. And again, the Linu, you buy Linu and you can tip people just like you do here, except for when you tip people there, they only take 10%, unlike the 30% that YouTube takes. That's a nice bonus. And you can send that money straight into either your PayPal account or into Bitcoin, if you have a Bitcoin wallet. So
did Doug say something about that they also pay people to view your channel? Is that right?
That you can earn Linu by watching on your phone, interacting, chatting. It builds up your Linu, so you can collect there and then you can donate it. Or right now you can't do it on the computer for a reason I forget, but you'll be able to do it on your computer as well. So yeah, you get paid. It's basically like proof of participation. So in cryptocurrencies, you have to have certain ways to actually qualify. God, what's the word, Ben? What's word? Like you have proof of work, proof
of work, proof of transfer, proof of payment, all that. But it's cryptographically proven. So when I say I send you the money, everybody in the world can see it.
Yeah. And so actually on the phone, the app is when your little tool, your little treasure chest builds up until you have a Linu from viewing, you prove through cryptography. You have to press the thing and it press it and then it does like the reCAPTCHA thing. That you have been paying attention. Right? So you can't just like leave your phone running and build it. It's not a minor. Right? It's proof of attention. Like basic attention token on the Brave browser, essentially.
I like it. So you're saying that for your money, that's where things are headed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, have you been paying attention to Bat?
Bat the Inker?
No. I was asking Ben. Basic attention token.
No, I have not.
What's with that? It's gone up like 40% in the last month.
Wow. I'll have to check it out. What's the use case for it?
It's the coin of the Brave browser. So people can use it to tip and to, if you're a what's the word when you sorry, my brain is freaking farting right now. Content provider. You can be a content provider for Brave, right? Like if you're doing videos or whatever it is, putting up websites, whatever it is, and then people can pay you the same sort of a tipping scale that DLive does, Brave does on a browser wide level, I guess.
Wow.
And so yeah, the BAT token has been totally ignoring what Bitcoin or anybody else has been doing and just been going like up, and I'm like, I only had like 2,000 and I was like, I should have bought more when it was
No, that's great. I need to spend more focus on it. I do have a financial guy, so maybe I do own some of it, and I don't know. And I, because I kind of do my own thing too as well when I see something interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've been doing so much writing lately and just working on different collaborations that I haven't focused on much else, honestly.
Yeah.
It's been a big learning curve, how to publish a comic, how to, everything done from concept to distribution to everything, so that's been my focus.
What are you working on right now?
So it's the Top C. I'll send it to you. I'm not announcing it yet, but I will be releasing it July 4th.
Oh, cool.
So for Cautionary, the next one that's coming out from Mike Barron and Todd Mulrooney is Florida Man. The hero we need. It's going to be.
I said that with a gator jumping over.
Yeah.
That thing's awesome.
Yeah, I pitched everything else. I made that next because I read all of it, and it's hilarious. It's funny. I think people are going to love it. I think it's something lighthearted and awesome that people want right now. And then of course I have Offworlder and the Wraith, and then I have a top secret one I'm releasing July 4th. So just having fun, guys. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
We're all having fun now.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this stream up, guys. I gotta take my daughter to acting class in a bit, so thanks for joining me on Gotham Final Episode trailer and talking crypto. Ben, yeah, I'll hit you up and we'll do a crypto show sometime.
Anytime. Happy to do it.
Right on. Well, thanks for being here. Art, say goodbye. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, thanks for having me, Mike, and take care, Ben. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Subscribe. I'm going to go live tomorrow and do some doodling, some drawing, and I still have my black and white book up in demand right now. So check it out, and we're going to be closing it out soon. So if you're still thinking of picking up a copy, do it now. Thanks, Mike.
Right on. And Ben?
You can catch me at Big B Hennessy or Big B Henderson at Twitter and the Caution Zone on YouTube.
Hey, Ben, stick around for a minute, okay?
Will do, bro.
All right. Bye, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, do all that fancy jingo stuff, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.